Safety, dance.
Hey everybody, Dan the safety man here, along with Mitch the safety committee member. And yeah, we're here to talk to you today about cargo securement on trailers. So, the first thing we're going to go over is when you're hooking your trailer up to your truck, what are all the things you need to check? So let's check that out.
First thing we need to look at is after you got the trailer hooked down onto your ball or your pintle, whatever style it is, that your retainer clip, either here for your pintle, here for your ball, is installed properly, that it cannot come unhooked while bouncing down the road. Next thing is to make sure that your safety chains are hooked on properly and that these retainers are in good working order, that they come up so that it cannot come back off of your truck. Next is your breakaway cable for your trailer brakes. Make sure it is plugged in tight on your trailer and that it is hooked in to a different spot than just onto your safety chain hook. The last thing to check for your trailer is your trailer lights. Make sure that they are plugged in solid to your truck and that they cannot wiggle back out. After making sure that all of that is properly hooked up, you also need to check your lights, which includes checking your tail lights, your brake lights, and each of your left and right turn signals to make sure that everything is functioning properly.
Okay, now we're looking at a piece of equipment tied down to a trailer. Now this piece of equipment weighs less than 10,000 pounds. If you're unsure what a piece of equipment weighs, please refer to Scott White and he can help you find that information. So as we walk up on this piece of equipment properly secured, we see that the bucket is tied down. Any piece of equipment with an articulating arm requires that the bucket be tied down. This includes the front end loader bucket on a backhoe. Now we look at the first of two tie-off points on this piece of equipment. Chains are hooked not to the manufactured tie-off points, but as close as we could get them because these hooks do not go around those points. Have them up with the ratchet binders. Go back to the back side here. We have the hooks on the trailer on the manufactured tie-off points up to and through the manufactured tie-off point on the back of this piece of equipment. If you're unsure of where to tie off a piece of equipment or how to tie a piece of equipment down, do not hesitate to ask and get help. It is crucial that we have this done correctly every single time we leave the lot. Then we have our piece of equipment that weighs more than 10,000 pounds, which I'm pretty sure this dozer qualifies. So this would require 4 separate chains to tie this down. Now, as I said before, the chains need to go through the manufactured tie-off points on this piece of equipment, which on this would be these D-rings down here on the track. As this has a front and back articulating arm, this would need a separate tie-down, separate chain on each one of these separate arms to have this piece of equipment properly secured. Now, if you do have any questions on this, please reach out to Charles Conklin or Tom Latire. They can help you make sure that this piece of equipment is tied down properly before you leave the yard. This is not something you want to guess on. This is something you want to be sure of. And we also have online resources for how to properly tie down pieces of equipment. I will go over that here in a little bit.
Okay guys, so what we have here is the FMCSA website. If you go to fmcsa.dot.gov, go into the regulations tab down to cargo securement, you can see the DOT's rules on cargo securement. If you pull down that drop down menu, go to chapter 9, that will give you the information you're looking for on pieces of equipment in vehicles that weigh less than 10,000 pounds. And then chapter 10 is going to be information on pieces of equipment that weigh over 10,000 pounds. So if you need any information on how to find this website, please contact me and I will get this information to you.
Alright, so in conclusion, there are a lot of different factors to consider when securing your equipment and your loads down to trailers. If you need any further information on how to do this properly, please reach out to myself or Tom Latire and we can give you some further guidance on this, as well as the FMCSA website that we referenced earlier. Now, a couple other things I wanted to point out. First off, we now have squinchers. available. These are single mix packets for about 20-ounce bottles of water. They're loaded with potassium, vitamin C, and other good stuff that'll keep you from being dehydrated. And also I wanted to mention that we've had a very sharp uptick in JHAs this week, and I want to thank everybody for that. Now, on most days, over 40% of those JHAs came from our residential employees. So, on Tuesday of this week, we had 55 of our employees covered under JHAs. We can do better than that. We have more than 55 guys out there, so you need to keep up with those leading indicators, because that is what it's going to help us see those hazards out in the field and prevent those injuries. So, if you guys have any further questions, as I said before, contact myself or Tom Lattire. This has been Dan the Safety Man, Mitch the Safety Committee member. Thanks, guys. Have a safe week.